Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. I had a couple of really interesting sessions this week, and there was one kind of insight that I figured out that I wanted to share with you in this video today. So I hope you guys enjoy the little tip or tool that I'm about to give you. We're going to do a little thought exercise as well on how to really treat anxiety. And with treat, I don't mean like an illness, but treat as in how to treat the topic of anxiety in your mind, how to find a good metaphor to work with it. What is this metaphor that I'm referring to? In my sessions, I was talking to people and I realized something, that if we look at our dreams, if you are dreaming and you are asleep and you're having a nightmare, you're having a terrible dream, then you are in a state of suffering in the dream until you realize that it's a dream. And maybe you've had this before. I have this all the time where I am dreaming and something really terrible is happening. And then in the dream, I suddenly realize, oh my God, I'm dreaming. Thank God this isn't real. And the fact that you realize it isn't real doesn't necessarily make the dream stop immediately, but it makes you stop suffering because you realize in that moment, oh, I don't have to take what I'm experiencing seriously anymore. And it made me realize that we treat our thoughts like real dreams. We treat our anxious thinking like a nightmare that is actually happening, instead of realizing that they are just anxious thoughts. It's just an anxious dream. Say that I would ask you right now to think about a pineapple. I want you to picture a pineapple in your head. Is that pineapple real? No. Let's think about something else for a second. Think about your favorite food for a second. Just picture that food in your mind. Is that food real now that you picture it? No. However, does your mouth start salivating? Maybe. Does your stomach start growling a little bit if you're hungry? The answer is probably yes, because your subconscious brain doesn't know the difference between something actually happening and something being imagined. So when you picture that hamburger or that pizza or whatever you're picturing, your body starts to actually create sensations that belong with it. However, the burger or the pizza or whatever in your mind is not actually real. And so the same goes with fearful thinking. If you start picturing a worst case scenario in your head and you start playing it out, your body starts listening to that. It starts responding to that. It starts creating your heart rate to go up. It starts making your hands maybe a bit more sweaty. And these sensations make it feel like it is actually really happening, when you are just picturing it in your head, the same way that you were just picturing this pizza that made your stomach roll, that also isn't really there. But when it comes to anxious thoughts, because it is so programmed in us to want to prepare for it, we just live in the reality that these thoughts are really true. When if we truly would sit with that for a second, if that happened, and just question, is this thought real? Is it really happening? Is the story that my anxiety is telling me actually true in this moment? It could be like waking up from a dream, an anxious dream, that does not necessarily make the thoughts in your head go away immediately, but it makes you realize you do not have to take them so seriously. And that's that moment where you're in your dream, you're sleeping, you're so, say that like a monster is coming towards you, and you're so terrified, you keep running away from it. You keep running away from that monster. You keep this cycle of anxiety going. And the moment you realize in your dream, wait a second, this is a dream. I don't have to run away from this. You can stand still, turn around, look at the monster and say, okay, come on, let's see what you got, attack me. And the monster can't kill you because you're dreaming. It's the same thing with anxiety. If you are living an anxious story in your head that says, oh, if I go outside today, something terrible is going to happen, or if I just sit with this fear, I'm going to die. You can look at that thought specifically. If I sit with this feeling, I will faint, I will die, something bad will happen. instead of that being you in the dream, in that moment, you could say, okay, my body's responding anxiously to this thought, but is this thought really true? Am I really being chased by this monster? Or is that the dream that I'm picturing in my head? And what you could do in that scenario, say that the thought is, you're wanting to meditate, but you have this fear of sitting with your emotions because you're scared that if you sit with your emotions, you will die or pass out or faint. And that's the image that you're having in your mind. Maybe that's a bit of an extreme story, but some people I've worked with have truly thought that. Then the moment you realize, you picture that thought in your mind and you realize this is just an image that I have in my thinking, it is not physically really happening in reality, it's like waking up in a dream. And you still might not create that intense separation because the way that fear is programmed is it is doing everything in its power to protect you from something bad happening. So even if you wake up, it might still feel like you don't really trust yourself to sit with it, but just practicing becoming aware of it more and more, in the sense of becoming aware of the fact that it is just a story, that it is just a picture in your head that you have, that it is not actually real. And then perhaps one day you'll feel comfortable enough, just like I explained in my dream, to say, all right, let's see what happens. If you can truly see that it's just a story, that it's not real, okay, let me die then. Let me sit with my emotions and meditations and let this dying happen. You stop taking that story so seriously because you understand that it is just an image in your head. So I want you to try something next time you feel really anxious. I want you to really try first going to that understanding of, if I picture my favorite food in my head right now and I start having a physical reaction to it. Well, maybe if you're in fear, you won't have the reaction so much because your mind will be on something else and not on hunger. But just trying to use that metaphor on that scenario and seeing what happens. I think that would be interesting. And then come back to this video and let me know in the comments what happened for you. So I'm gonna start waking up because it's early morning, as you can see, to the bags under my eyes. It was my first thought was that I wanted to make this video today, so I'm gonna get ready for the day, edit this video and post it for you guys. Like I said, next week there will be another recovery story that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys. And anything else I have to say? Have a happy weekend and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.